Despite objections from the DOJ federal court, orders the Justice Department to preserve Comey's personal emails, by Christina Layla for thegatewaypundit.com. Judicial Watch strikes again. On Monday, a federal court ordered the Justice Department to preserve Comey's personal emails thanks to a joint lawsuit filed by Judicial Watch and the Daily Caller News Foundation. Inspector General Horowitz recently revealed in his much anticipated report on the FBI's mishandling of the Hillary email investigation that Comey was actually using a personal Gmail account to conduct official business while he was director of the FBI. Surprise, surprise, right? According to the IG report, then FBI Director James Comey used a secret Gmail account when conducting FBI business, despite warning other agents they would be in huge trouble if they did the same thing. The Daily Caller News Foundation and Judicial Watch sought a preservation order in a joint lawsuit filed in July. The Justice Department refused to comply via the Daily Caller. The Department of Justice has refused to take any steps to preserve work-related emails former FBI Director James Comey had on a personal account that the Daily Caller News Foundation and Judicial Watch requested under the Freedom of Information Act. The conservative watchdog will file in court Friday. There is nothing but complete silence about why the FBI has failed to take steps to preserve records responsive to DCNF's request. Judicial Watch attorney Michael Bekesha will write in the filing before the U.S. District Court of the District of Columbia. On Monday, despite pushback from the DOJ, a federal court ordered the Justice Department to preserve Comey's personal emails, a victory for Judicial Watch and the American people. Tom Fitton said in a statement Monday, the ultimate goal of this preservation order is to obtain Comey's records through FOIA requests, lawsuits, and the preservation of his records in the first step. Tom Fitton breaking court orders DOJ FBI to preserve James Comey's records. I wonder why they were trying to get rid of those, right? We're all wondering. Yeah, we're all wondering.
Hi, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton here with some big news. A federal court issued a preservation order today to the Justice Department and the FBI to take all necessary steps to preserve the records of James Comey, specifically any records he might have that are government records in his personal email accounts. Both Judicial Watch and the Daily Caller News Foundation are suing for some of these Comey records, and we're concerned that Comey had records in his personal email accounts that weren't being preserved. The federal government, in response to our concerns, did send a letter to Comey asking him to preserve the records, but they refused to share that letter with Judicial Watch and opposed our efforts for a preservation order. In today's ruling, the court said it is ordered to take all necessary and reasonable steps to ensure that any records that are potentially responsive to either of the plaintiff's FOIA requests located on former FBI Director Comey's personal email account are preserved. Although it contends that such an order is unnecessary, defendant has not explained why this preservation order would prejudice defendant or cause any undue burden. So this is a big order by the federal courts telling the FBI and the DOJ to take necessary steps to preserve records subject to Freedom of Information Act requests. It's been well over a year that we've been asking for these records, and we've been getting the runaround and shell games from the FBI. So we're pleased the court overrode their objections and issued this preservation order today.
Yeah, if they didn't destroy them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what would be the problem to have the records? Oh, it might be incriminating. Oh, yeah, I got it. So, breaking, federal court tells DOJ to preserve Comey personal emails, take all necessary and reasonable steps, ruling over objections of FBI and DOJ And in response to our concern, government records on his personal email system might be lost. I guarantee you they're already halfway destroyed, but let's just go along with it.
We had some good news today and some bad news today. So the good news is that we had sued for the FBI, along with the Daily Caller News Foundation. We sued for, I thought I had the press release here. I guess I didn't print it out, so I'm going to go off on memory here. So Judicial Watch sued with the Daily Caller News Foundation for communications between James Comey and certain politicians, Barack Obama, John McCain, people interesting like that.
All the
Joe
good
Biden,
guys. Yeah.
people we'd want to figure out what he was talking to and about what, especially as it relates to the Russia scandal. So that lawsuit's proceeding. Then this IG report comes out a few weeks ago where it's disclosed, unsurprisingly, that James Comey was using personal emails, his personal email system to conduct government business, which may be illegal and contrary to FBI rules, but he was doing it. Just like in some ways Hillary was doing it.
Pay to play.
Now, we asked the FBI, what's going on here? Are there government records in this system? Are you searching them? And in response, and you need to preserve them, and the FBI sent a letter to James Comey asking him to preserve government records from those emails, those private emails he may have, and turn them back over to the FBI if he had them. That would not have happened but for Judicial Watch prodding the FBI to do so. And isn't it incredible? It's been over a year since the FBI director was fired by Donald Trump, that the FBI thought to ask Mr. Comey, hey, do you have any emails on your personal account like Hillary did? I mean, it's a big issue government-wide. Now, but the DOJ and the FBI continues to bend over backwards to protect Comey because they refuse, A, to give us the letter they sent, and B, they refuse to sign on or agree to a court preservation order for these records so that the FBI, DOJ, and Comey are noticed don't destroy records. So isn't that interesting? And they've taken that position with Peter Strzok and I think Lisa Page, where they sent preservation letters to them because they were also conducting government business on personal accounts, evidently to hide what they were doing from the American people. But again, they've also refused the preservation order. So this Department of Justice that's raiding the lawyer of the president, raiding the home of Paul Manafort with guns drawn, refuses to hold their own accountable fully to the rule of law.
Of course.
That's the corruption.
No, really?
So, but at least Judicial Watch is doing more
than
Congress. We're doing more than the media. More than the Justice Department and the FBI to get these records. And to make sure we know exactly what Mr. Comey was up to. We're asking for records that reflect on potential corruption. And it's only because of our lawyers pushing, that the FBI bothered to ask Comey for records back. Incredible, isn't it?
And once again, Judicial Watch is doing the heavy lifting. Yeah, they are. Absolutely. Absolutely, they really are. But isn't it, like if you don't laugh at some of the things that are going on, because it's just so obvious, the corruption, the corruption is just so obvious. You don't have to be a genius to figure this out. It really is. And why did they have those private servers? You think that they don't know what they were doing with those private servers? They were doing their deals for money. That's why they had the private servers. That's why. I mean, it's so obvious. They should have been arrested on the spot, not being asked for preservation of these things. They should have looked into it. Like, you see how what Tom Fitton said, the way they raided Manafort's home and Cohen's office. Nobody raided Hillary. They were treating her with kid gloves. Why? Because of the money. The money was being paid off. They're not going to They're not going to out Hillary. Comey was making a fortune too. What do you think? Because Hillary couldn't pull this crap off by herself. She had to have she had to have Brennan involved, Obama being paid off, Comey, all of them. How are they going to pull it off? Because one will out the other, so they're all being paid off, the head honcho, so to speak. Meanwhile, it's as if like nothing is going on. I mean, and Congress is compromised from the Iwan brothers, so this way they can't, and that's why Judicial Watch has to do the work, you see? Because if Congress starts going after, the Democratic Congress, I would say, and could be some Republican people in Congress, if they start going after Hillary, they got the dirt on them that'll bring them down so fast, and they are sweating bullets daily, believe you me, because they're afraid. Because, listen, if Hillary goes down, you think she's not going to take the rest of the crowd with her? You can guarantee that she's going to take the rest of the Congress, the DO. She's going to take everybody and oust them. Believe you me, she ain't going down alone, that's for sure. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.